G'day, this is Lachlan here from LRVP, and today's video of the month is called Vertical Rescue. It's a bit of a training video based on some vertical rescue training we did out at Candillon. We did some Prusik and Abseil technique training, and today what you're going to watch is a Z-drag cliff rescue. Now this is a rescue that would be carried out on a participant who's already been abseiling down a cliff or some sort of artificial tower, whatever it is, and for whatever reason you need to pull them from down there and back up to where you are. So here today we've got little Johnny, who's going to be our participant, and he's going to be abseiling on an abseil line, and he's also got me up the top belaying, just using a simple ATC belay setup.
Okay. So go you stand on that, pull down, about halfway down, and if it all goes pear-shaped, you're already attached to it. So
and there's a few ways that this rescue can vary, so I'm not going to get too technical in this video, but there are little ways that it can vary, but some things that you definitely need to make sure that you do when you do it. I guess the main thing that's really important is if you're going to be out doing abseiling and this potentially is something that might need to be done, some sort of rescue where you need to pull them back up the cliff, it's really important to know what equipment you do need to make sure that you've got it and you're ready for any situation that can arise. So we are locking him off. So something's obviously happened where we need to lock him off, and I need to be hands-free so that I can set up our Z-drag rescue system. So we've locked him off with an extra carabiner just for safety.
a rescue system so that I can pull you up with my
It's good to keep vocalising with the participant what's going on as much as possible, just so that they know that you're not abandoning them, that you're actually working to help them out. They could be in a lot of pain if it's an emergency situation or whatever it is, so it's good to keep them in the know. You don't need to be too technical with them. So here we're setting up an anchor that's going to be for our Z-drag system. We're setting it up on the same beam that we've used for our abseil setup, but the more distance you can get for your Z-drag system, the less times you're going to have to reset it. So in this circumstance we're going to reset the system a couple of times just so that we can get him all the way to the top.
But we need a Prusik of some sort. Before we got.
Alright, we're attaching a Prusik to the belay line. Now the belay line is the red rope there that we're tying the Prusik onto. That's the one that we're going to be pulling up, and each time we pull with our 3-to-1, we're then going to put the weight of the system of that belay line onto another rope or another part of the rope so that we can reset our Z-drag and pull again. So we've set up our Prusik, that's going to be the rope we're pulling up, and we've tied in clipped in a figure 8, and then we're going to feed up through a gree-gree we've got up on the beam. Now a gree-gree's there because as you pull through on your Z-drag system, you can only pull one way with a gree-gree, so as you pull it through, you know that the gree-gree will auto-block, which is just a precaution so that you can't let them fall back down to where they were.
Yeah, the other one's downstairs.
Now we've gone back down from the gree-gree down to near that Prusik again and through another carabiner. You could make it smoother by using a pulley if you have access to a pulley. But with the mechanical advantage that you're creating with our 3-to-1 system, it's actually going to be pretty easy for me to pull John up.
Multi-camera.
So you get that Prusik down as low as you can. The less times you have to reset, the better. but you'll see that we're only going to be able to pull him a certain amount of distance before we have to then put the prusik down and start again.
Alright John, you ready? I'm going to start pulling you up. Alright, next Gregory's going to lock off.
So always do your checks before you do anything.
Yeah, making me work hard. Okay, so that Gregory's caught.
Now that Gregory will lock off automatically, but you're not going to just rely on the Gregory to do that, so you'll always lock it off as well. And we lock it off with a carabiner just as extra safety.
Yeah, okay.
So to reset this system, we're going to have to think about how we can now put the weight, the load, onto another part so that it's not on our initial prusik that's connected, because we want to release it and put that prusik down further again to pull him up again. So what we'll do is we'll find another prusik and set up a really simple way of locking him off.
Come on, see you later.
Hang on a minute, I don't go anywhere yet. Oh, you just checked your mail.
How you doing, Johnny?
I've only ever been told.
You comfy? Hey? This is going to be shown at seminars all over the world.
It's always good to do a refresher of this sort of thing every couple of months or however often you feel you need to, just so that if a situation came up, you'd know, it'll be fresh in your mind what you need to sort of do for it. Alright, so we've tied another prusik to the same rope and to a carabiner, and all we do is slide that prusik down and it'll take the load so that we can reset our Z drag system. And I'm just going to neaten up the rest of it. It's good to keep your ropes as tidy as you can up the top, otherwise you're going to end up with tangled ropes everywhere. Now that your other prusik has taken the load, you just check everything over once, and then you can start releasing your Z drag system, and then you'll reset it further down. So pushing that prusik down closer towards your participant. You could use an ascender or something to put onto the rope instead of the prusik. There's lots of different ways that you can vary your setup, but you've always got to make sure that there's not too much slack, so that when you pull your Z drag rope, you don't want to leave too much slack that if for some reason you let go, they're going to fall a huge distance, or they're going to fall all the way back down to where they were. So you always put the load onto some other sort of rope, like the prusik that we used, so that there's not the chance of that happening. And little Johnny keeps coming up the wall.
Ready, Johnny? Coming up.
Apparently he is.
It is pretty tiring, this system, especially if you've got to pull them a fair way. So if you've got people who can help, even for the pulling part, you can get them to give you a hand, and you can rotate just so that you're not using all your energy. This system could take a couple of hours or whatever, depending on how far down the wall or the cliff they are.
Yeah. And back, here we go.
And you're better off taking your time rather than trying to rush it as well.
Alright Johnny, this is going to be the last one.
So that was a lot quicker to reset that time because we'd already put that prusik on to take the load. And so now we can easily reset and keep pulling.
Nice job.
Ready, Freddie?
And the last few pulls to get him up the wall, and then what I'm going to do is just tie him off so that he's locked off and can't fall again, and then put him onto some sort of safety line. So I lock him off. There's a few ways you can lock him off, that's just one. And there we have it. This is Lachlan from LRVP, and that was Vertical Rescue.